This episode, I'm going to show you how to remove those upper mounts on your 10 bolt or 12 bolt or a Currie like this and replace them, or maybe even upgrade them to a Global West Spherical Bearing. At the end of this episode, I hope to have this mocked up in the GTO to make sure all my welding worked from last episode. Let's do this. Welcome back to Fast Monty's Garage. Today is part 2 of our Currie swap into my 1969 Pontiac GTO, where last episode, if you missed it, go click that I right there, but we pulled out my 10 bolt and we transferred bracketry or added new bracketry to this axle to accommodate my Global West coilovers, which are mounted perfectly vertically right up through the spring mount. That's different than most companies that have an angled solution off of the stock location. I prefer this the best. It makes more sense to me. So I was going to mock it up last episode in the car, make sure our welding was good. I forgot. These mounts have to go. So if you're here to change your mounts or learn how to do it, I'm going to show you how to do it. I apologize for being long-winded. Because if you have the stock rubber mounts and they're over 10 years old, you should really consider changing them because they're done. You can upgrade to several different types. You can do polyurethane, which I think these are actually. You can do Delrin. You can do aluminum Delrin combined, or the ultimate solution is the Global West Spherical Bearing. There's no axial play, no play whatsoever, and gives you complete freedom of rotation. And I'll show you after you install them. So that's what we're going to do today. And if I've ever helped you out, consider joining the Full Monty Club. The button's right down there, or get a bunch of hats. Help support the channel. It helps buy more parts, do more videos, so we can all learn from my mistakes. So enough out of me. Let me show you what tools you need to get these things out of here. It's the same tool to put them back in. Okay, the tool you use to get these out is a plasma cutter. You just cut this out. I'm just kidding, guys. That's stupid. But it is one of my favorite tools, as you probably saw from last video. But this is the tool you need. It looks like this. I'll leave a link below. I found one on Amazon. I think I got this at at AutoZone, and I rented it and never gave it back. So it's mine. But we're gonna use this to pull this guy out. It comes with 2 adapters. One is just the right size, I believe, to pull the rest of that metal sleeve through that bore. And this one we'll start with because it's plenty of size to pull that in. So notice that the diameter is perfect. It sits right on that registered edge. And then install your disc in a washer, your bolt, your 3/4 inch wrench, and go to town. I readjusted because it dawned on me, if this slips off, there's nothing behind that upper arm. I wanted to catch it on these 2 supports, front and back. Let's try this again. All right, I got to the end and it's still stuck in there. So I'm gonna go ahead and take that little plate off, or big plate, and put the little plate on. Okay, little plate's on. Here we go. Rearrange. Sorry guys, I should have filmed it, but this was sticking up a little bit. As soon as I loosened it up, it actually leveled itself out. So that's cool. Yes! Success! So it just dawned on me, you should use the small one for removal and then use the big disc for installation. So that's what we're going to do now. Same installation procedure, doesn't matter if it's a new bushing or if we're going with the Global West Spherical Bearing. So I want to go ahead and slap it in there. I'm doing my best to make sure I am parallel with the bore before I get going, save some pain. But I think I am there. So let's do this. Oh, and by the way, the threaded end goes towards the middle because we're going to put our lock nuts on after it's fully installed. It should go all the way until it's flush like that. Not straight. Start over. Okay, take 2. Oh, come on. Take 2 didn't work either. Now, as you guys probably saw, it got cockeyed in there. So I went ahead and took my calipers and went around the bore just to see if we're uniform. And it is not. It's a 10 thou difference. The smallest being 1/840. It's on the 40 there. And if we measure this bad boy, this is 1/850. So the 50 will not fit into a 40 hole. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to remove the other one and measure the other bore and see where we're at. If that is also oblong, I might consider modifying just the areas a little bit. Just hit it with my very fine sanding disc or wheel or whatever the hell it's called, and see if I can open it up slightly. And I can also feel a burr on the back edge. I don't know if that matters as we pull it in, but there's definitely a burr there, and there might even be a taper. So I could do some measuring, probably phone a friend. Pulled the other side off, and it's very similar. It's about 10 thou low in certain spots, but it's right on the money in other spots. So 1/850 I think is our target, because I went ahead and measured the 10 bolt, and that's 1/850. So there's going to be a very slight press for the bearing, because this is perfectly cylindrical. I measured in several spots. It's 1/850 all the way around. Now, what we do best at FMG is we make things work. So what I did was I went ahead and ordered a little grinding stone. Well, it's not a little one. It's 1.5 inch diameter and 1.5 inch long, so we can get it in here, kiss those areas really gently, and hopefully we can open it up enough to get our light press of the bearing in that damn bore. Yeah, typical, right? So I went ahead and went to McMaster-Carr, my favorite source. If you've never used them before, that you can usually get components or parts or random stuff or fasteners and everything the next morning. So I'm looking forward to it. I already placed the order. So when we get back, we're gonna give it a shot. Let's do this. It's the next day. Look what I got. Look at that thing. Just perfect. See, it gives us plenty of surface area on that grinder to take away some material in a safe manner versus a small ID. Now, before I get to grinding stuff away, I did a whole bunch of double checking. I have 2 set, digital and analog calipers. Went around, I put markings of what I measured on this piece of tape. It ranges from over 50 to under 40, back to over 50. And before I get crazy, it dawned on me, like, how do we figure out if it's perfectly cylindrical? I wish I had a plug gauge. So in manufacturing, a plug or pin gauge is used to check the concentricity or see how cylindrical a hole is or a bore is. So I had this crazy idea. I took that plate off that remover tool, and I added 3 layers of this fine line tape. This is used in painting and masking for sharp edges, and it came out to 1/842. Perfect. So if we put it in the hole and you shine some light behind it, you can see where it touches that bore. So I'm going to mark right on here where it touches. It touches here and on the bottom. So now I'm going to take my time in those spots, because I'm looking at it, see if we can get there, because I want this to act as the go, no-go gauge. It should fit, since it's undersized. It should fit in the hole easily. And right now I have to press it, so that means there's something wrong. Oh my God. So I'm going to take my time. This is the hard part about metal work, is that we have the tendency, especially guys, I don't know why, to rush it. Don't rush it. I'm going to lightly kiss it, do a measurement, monitor my progress as I go. Same amount of time up here as down here, because it looks like it's just a squished. It's like an oval. Wish me luck. I'll keep you posted. I'm getting there. Look, it's at 46. I know it's tough to see on the video, but that used to be 40 or slightly under 40. It's 46. And then we take our magic gauge. Nice and easy. Look at that. See that ridge right there, guys? I suspected they drilled from both ends, and that's proof right there. There's misalignment in the bore from the front side to the back side. So I'll keep at it, and I'll get you a final update. All right, 1851. Well, I just moved, but it's right at that low, originally low spot, 18515. I don't know if you can see that. It keeps moving, sorry. But anyway, that is pretty good. Let's check our quick gauge. Whoop. Hey-o. I think we're ready to do what we initially tried to do. And put this guy in here. Oh, it already starts good. Oh, yes. Let me go ahead and put it in all the way in. We are in, boys and girls. It was a light press fit. If it's too tight, do not push it. Open up that bore a little bit, just like what I did, and then get this lock ring on there. Screws right on, and tighten it up with the tool. There are 2 set screw holes. If one's hidden, don't worry about it. Use the one that's exposed. Loctite, like 271. Put it in there, you don't want that backing out, and you're good. So I'm gonna go ahead and work on the other side. I won't film it, I'll be right back so we can mock this thing up. Badass, right? Yeah, not a trick question. It is. So you have these inserts that go in the spherical bearing on both sides, and that gives you the perfect width for your upper control arm. Speaking of uppers, I'm using Global West adjustable control arms for a good reason. One reason, and because the uppers actually, I should point this out, also have spherical bearings in there, so it pivots. That's why we have spherical bearings in here, because our rear ends are going to articulate all the time. And if you just have a straight up bushing, it's not going to do its job. So this can actually pivot in multiple directions to give you all kinds of freedom of movement. The other thing is, when you have this in the car and you have 2 adjustables, you adjust them at the same time to adjust your pivot angle. Not your pivot angle, your pinion angle. Sorry, it's been a long day. So I'm gonna go ahead and lay this on the ground, because our next step is to get that 3rd member located on here, mock it up in the car to verify my welding worked for 1, but for 2, that drive shaft length, which we talked about in that first episode. Here we go. You guys ready for this? Remember, always lift with your back. Yes! Look at that thing. Oh my gosh. Oh yes. Raise your hand if you're getting excited. I sure am. Let's throw this in. Oh yeah, fits like a glove. Got the drive shaft mounted, and remember the first episode we did the pinky trick to see how far away I was from the gasket on the transmission. Well, here's the new measurement. It's like almost identical, maybe a 1/16 of an inch short, but that's not a big deal at all. I love it. And the other thing, if you look from the side, besides the badass view down the tube there, I have more room to pivot the pinion angle up, which is good. I needed that originally. And number 1 reason, because it's hitting the exhaust tube right here. So I do have room to come back here, which is great. Man, what else? Well, I think that's it. So if you guys get some spherical bearings from Global West, check that bore like we talked about. You want a light press fit. Sorry, again, long day. But next episode, we're not done mocking stuff up. I don't have my brake lines mounted yet. So we're going to transfer my existing brake lines to this, and it's a full stainless steel braid. I'll show you what I'm using there and what other tips and tricks you can do to your mock-up. But the most important thing is the mock-up of the calipers too, and I'm going to put the new parking brake caliper on, so that'll look badass. And because I still have to determine if I can use the same cables or not. Yeah, one thing after another here at FMG. So if you haven't done so, hit that join button, subscribe, and until next episode, building fast, driving faster. See ya.